Good evening, friends. Once again, we are back with another Sahodar virtual session. For the first time, there was a complaint that my voice was not audible. It normally does not happen with me, but maybe the other day I leaned back a little more and voice would not have been audible. Be assured, I am very loud and my voice carries, so it won't be a problem anytime again. Last time we had question answer sessions regarding shared household and right of residence. Lot of people later told me and messaged me stating that they could not join because they were not aware. So anyways, let that be. We'll have another session around something or the other every week on Thursday till lockdown persists. So next Thursday we'll pick up another topic which will be announced on Tuesday in the meeting, and then it will be put up in the WhatsApp status and whatever mode of communication you are engaged with. So you'll have advanced knowledge on the topic which we'll take on next Thursday. आज के सवाल शुरू करते हैं जो भी लोगों ने पूछे हैं. सबसे पहला सवाल राजेश जी का है. आई थिंक मेरे को उनका सिर्फ कमेंट ही दिख रहा है. शी वॉज नॉट सबमिटिंग एज पर राजेश वर्सेज नेहा application. I will ask it in the next hearing. Thank you. So probably it is some question which he had asked and he has got an answer now. Gautam again has a statement that she is in government job. I think few of the comments are not visible to me. I'll start with Sandeep Sarpal. Sandeep has a query. My DV case under section 12 is pending in Rohini since 2012. Wife advocate normally shakes hand with my advocate to take dates, taking case longer. I have changed 4 advocates. How to avoid this situation? There is no DIR report in DV case. 8-9 years and your case is still pending, and the dates are being taken by both the advocates, and you have changed 4 advocates. I am surprised how much control you have over your case, because if this is the situation, whenever the court is giving a date, you can always request for a smaller date. The case is pending for 9 years. You can go to High Court or Session Court for a time-bound disposal of the case. In fact, in Delhi, prior to COVID times, there was a service. So normally you should get shorter dates. But anyways, after COVID times, you can definitely approach High Court for time-bound or speedy disposal of this case, which has been pending for 9 years. I hope you are not paying any maintenance to this complainant, because otherwise you are actually on a sticky wicket by paying monthly maintenance. Ramesha Gigi, a person with the screen name Ramesha Gigi. He has a question. Sir, giving and taking of dowry is a crime, but in Indian courts, only takers are accused in cases, but not for giver. Even the law follower and crime preventer themselves, the police also filed cases in a complainant on their son-in-law. How to take action on these police, since they are law abiders filing false cases? Why are the cases not filed on givers as like cases on takers? Shall we demand for filing DP Act on FIL and wife for giving dowry, since he filed a false complaint of dowry taken? Someone suggested if we file a case of the giver, it may fire back at us like that. Is it so? What is the move in the situation? Please guide us. Thank you. So Ramesha, I understand your question, and there are people who advise about filing Dowry Prohibition Act Section 3. When I was very new to litigation, when my cases started, even I tried filing a complaint in this regard with the police. I never took it to court. I lost faith in Dowry Prohibition Act Section 3 case. The reason being that Section 7 of Dowry Prohibition Act itself states that anybody who has given information of this crime cannot be prosecuted under this law. Beyond that, I have never seen even a single case where the FIR has been registered and has run the full course. Whatever little stories we hear, there are sporadic stories or couple of or 3, 4, 5 stories which keep on doing the rounds, that the court has ordered registration of FIR under Dowry Prohibition Act Section 3 against the father-in-law or the mother-in-law or the brother-in-law. But these are very few cases which has happened. I have not seen even a single successful case where people have been punished for it or they have been prosecuted, because most of the FIRs have finished in quashing by the high courts. So I personally don't advise. If you read your case papers carefully, you will have to see what all sections other than DP3 are attracted. There are instances where FIRs have been registered against the complainant and their family and some other people for falsification of bills, for giving or spending money beyond their capacity, and in the case of police officer, for passing false bills. So there are instances where the cases have been registered in this regard. So you can try to file these kind of cases instead of Dowry Prohibition Act, in which I don't have any faith. However, if you find somebody in your area who have successfully done so, please have a consultation with that particular gentleman and see any success stories if they are available, and then only proceed with it. So next question is from Amoon RA Creations, and the question is Section 24 decided by family court ex parte saying pay 5K per month till my appearance. Got stay from High Court. Now wife submitted Rajneesh affidavit in which she suppressed her education and previous IT returns and bank statement. Do I need to submit my Rajneesh affidavit or can I request for perjury? So my dear friend, you will definitely have to file affidavit as per Rajneesh versus Neha. At the same time, you should file perjury as a separate application along with your affidavit. That will help your cause much more, because if you try to file perjury, the court may insist on your affidavit as well. There is a question from Chanakya Consultants. There is a screen name Chanakya Consultants, and the question is very important question. If I get discharged, not acquittal from MM Court, then can this discharge be a cruelty by wife and a ground for divorce? Kindly advise us. So basically, discharge is something where the court has said that the crime is not made out. Discharge means that the sections which are put by the prosecution is not attracted. If it is a complaint case, yes, it will be termed as cruelty. If it is a police instituted case, this incident directly discharge itself does not prove any cruelty. However, stating that this woman has tried filing a case against you, which is based on surmises, conjunctures, or other facts that she has lied, if you can prove that, that will be termed as cruelty and it will be accepted as cruelty by family court if you file for divorce. I hope your question was pertaining to divorce itself. चेतन कुमार का सवाल है, और सवाल है सर, एक बार 498 में बयान हो जाने के बाद या 498 में एक्विटल हो जाने पर क्या लड़की दोबारा बयान बदलवाने या दोबारा आफ्टर एक्विटल 498 फाइल कर सकती है क्या, फिर से FIR एटसेट्रा? तो एक बार अगर किसी के बयान क्रिमिनल ट्रायल में हो जाते हैं तो वो बयान दोबारा नहीं दे सकता है, सिर्फ क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन के लिए ही उसे दोबारा बुलाया जा सकता है। अदरवाइज प्रोसिक्यूशन विटनेस अपने आप से दोबारा नहीं आ सकता है। आपके बाकी सवाल भी हैं। और क्या एक्विटल के बाद वो 498 दोबारा फाइल कर सकती है? सेम सेट ऑफ सर्कमस्टांसेस पे वो 498 एक्विटल 498 ए में एक्विटल के बाद दोबारा केस फाइल नहीं कर सकती है। आपकी जानकारी के लिए बता दूं, 498 498 और 498 ए यानी 498 ए दोनों अलग अलग सेक्शंस हैं। नॉर्मली जो आप जिन सेक्शंस की बात कर रहे हैं डाउरी से रिलेटेड या हरासमेंट से रिलेटेड, वो 498 ए होता है और 498 नहीं। अब आपके बाकी सवाल भी हैं। सर, किसी पिछले वीडियो में आप एनसीडी से रिलेटेड बोल रहे थे कि क्वैश बेटर है डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट से लड़की के बयान कराने से। हाँ, बिल्कुल मैं ऐसा ही मानता हूं कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में लड़की के बयान कराने से क्वैशिंग ज़्यादा बेहतर ऑप्शन है। सर प्लीज़ गाइड करें कि क्या डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट से कराने में फ्यूचर में कोई दिक्कत आती है और क्वैश कराने में 498 में डिसीजन में राजीनामा लिखकर आता है क्या, जो आगे गवर्नमेंट जेल में नियुक्ति में राजीनामा के बेस पर हुए एक्विटल में कोई दिक्कत आती है? दोस्त, मैं इन सवालों के जवाब नहीं दे पाऊंगा क्योंकि मुझे नहीं पता है कि किस डिपार्टमेंट में किस चीज़ को कितनी गहनता से लिया जाता है। मेयर एक्विटल, अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने पीछे एक केस में कहा था मेयर एक्विटल ग्राउंड नहीं हो सकता है किसी को सेंसिटिव सरकारी नौकरी देने का। तो आप अपने डिपार्टमेंट में पहले चेक कर लें, मैं इस बात का जवाब मैं नहीं दे पाऊंगा। क्वेश्चन 2, सर क्या सास ससुर उनका डीवी केस से नाम हटने के बाद अपने होम डिस्ट्रिक्ट से ही काउंटर केस डाल सकते हैं? काइंडली गाइड सर। तो चेतन जी, क्या कौन सा केस डालना है इस बात पे डिपेंड करता है। अगर आप डिफेमेशन की तरह का केस डालना चाहते हैं तो डीवी केस से नाम अगर आपका सिर्फ इसलिए हटा है कि डोमेस्टिक इंसिडेंट रिपोर्ट में या आपका डोमेस्टिक रिलेशनशिप नहीं है, तो मेरे ख्याल से ये केस इटसेल्फ एस्टेब्लिश नहीं होगा। केस केस पे डिपेंड करता है, ज्यूरिसडिक्शन हर एक केस की अलग होती है। ज्यूरिसडिक्शन से रिलेटेड मैंने एक वीडियो में पहले भी बताया था कि हमें केस करेक्ट ज्यूरिसडिक्शन में डालना चाहिए। अगर हम केस अनकरेक्ट ज्यूरिसडिक्शन में या इनकरेक्ट ज्यूरिसडिक्शन में डालते हैं तो हम अपने समय और पैसा दोनों बर्बाद करते हैं। तो मुझे नहीं पता आप कौन सा केस डालना चाहते हैं, केस केस पे डिपेंड करता है। और मात्र इसलिए कि आपका डोमेस्टिक रिलेशनशिप नहीं था और आपका नाम डीवी केस से हटा दिया गया है या कोर्ट ने समनिंग नहीं की है, कोई ग्राउंड नहीं देता है आपको अपने होम डिस्ट्रिक्ट में केस डालने का। Sanjay Kumar has a question. Namaste Shoni ji, good evening. I have a query that if after Rajneesh judgment whether there is no scope for husband in interim rejection even if wife working, and sir if parties agreed for mutual divorce, then whether in 498 quash both parties have to go to High Court personally. So Sanjay ji, first question, answer to this question is wife is working, then of course there is a scope for denial of maintenance interim. Yes, there is a lot of scope for denial of interim maintenance. However, if wife is not working, yes, there is a very limited scope. Or I would say that as per, if you go by the plain reading of Rajneesh versus Neha judgment, then probably there is no ground of rejection of maintenance unless the wife has come to court with unclean hands or there is some other lacuna or she has some certain assets. If she is not working, there is no ground for rejection of maintenance. Now coming to your second question, that if parties have gotten mutual consent divorce, then in 498 quash both parties have to go to High Court personally. Yes, that was the practice till recently in Delhi and Punjab and Haryana, both places. However, Punjab and Haryana High Court has now started a practice where they delegate the responsibility of recording the statement to the district court or the magistrate court itself. Both parties appear in the magistrate court after they have filed a quash in High Court, and the girl makes a statement that she is voluntarily withdrawing the case or she wants to get the case quashed because an agreement has happened between the parties. So this is the practice which Punjab and Haryana High Court is following. I am not aware about all other high courts, what will be the procedure they follow. Mostly courts at during COVID times are not insisting on personal presence, but you will have to check with your local High Court advocate what is the normal practice there. Deepak Nigam has questions. One, if wife mentioned in mutual consent divorce agreement that she relinquish her rights of maintenance 125.3, then she may file get maintenance. If no hearing first and second have been done yet in mutual consent divorce but petition with agreement file, the case register with the number, whether there is no value of that affidavit statement of wife, misunderstanding. And so I believe the question is, Deepak ji has asked a question कि अगर मियाँ बीवी के बीच में म्यूचुअल कंसेंट डिवोर्स का एग्रीमेंट हो जाता है तो क्या और बीवी उसमें अपने राइट्स रिलिंक्विश कर देती है मेंटेनेंस के, पर कोई भी हियरिंग उस म्यूचुअल कंसेंट डिवोर्स की नहीं होती है, पर पिटीशन फाइल हो जाती है, तो ऐसी स्थिति में क्या वो मेंटेनेंस की हकदार होगी? बिल्कुल होगी, बिल्कुल होगी। ऐसी स्थिति में वो मेंटेनेंस के बिल्कुल हकदार होगी, क्योंकि एग्रीमेंट के ऊपर कोई एक्शन नहीं हुआ है। ऐसी स्थिति में मेरा हमेशा से ये एडवाइस रहती है कि जब भी आप एग्रीमेंट करें तो एक छोटी सी राशि लड़की को जरूर दे दें उस एमओयू में, और बाकी फर्स्ट मोशन और सेकंड मोशन पर दें। ऐसी स्थिति में अगर लड़की मुकरना भी चाहती है तो उसे पहले वो पैसे रिफंड करने पड़ेंगे, जिसका एक प्रोसीजर फॉलो होगा, और आप नहीं तो उन पैसों के लिए, चाहे वो छोटी रकम हो, एक सूट फाइल कर सकते हैं, एक लीगल नोटिस शुरू दे सकते हैं। दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने, मात्र दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट, और ये सिर्फ दिल्ली से रिलेटेड है क्योंकि दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट की ये गाइडलाइंस है कि अगर कोई भी समझौता समाधान में यानी मीडिएशन सेटल में हुआ है वो बाध्य है, दोनों पार्टीज पे लागू होगा। तो अगर आपका केस दिल्ली में है तो आप डेफिनेटली कंटेम्प्ट के लिए भी शायद जा सकते होंगे, पर पूरी स्थिति को समझना पड़ेगा, उस एग्रीमेंट में क्या लिखा हुआ था, उसके बाद लड़की ने क्या स्टेटमेंट दी, क्या क्या प्रोसीजर हुए, ये सब समझना पड़ेगा। सुरेंद्र जी का सवाल है 498 a case, all jewelry bills in lakhs are after marriage date, charge not yet fixed, please advise action can be taken under section 340 or 153 CRPC against family jeweler and IO also, how and when. Other bills not submitted and not verified by IO, statements contradictory, incomplete and charge sheet, stay with in-laws etc. only 4 days, no इंसिडेंट और पुलिस कॉल बट चार्ज अंडर 498 406 फॉल्स। तो सुरेंद्र जी, मेरे ख्याल से आपका सवाल ये है कि लड़की ने जो भी ज्वेलरी के बिल सबमिट किए हैं वो शादी के डेट के बाद के हैं, 4 दिन की आपके शादी चली है, मतलब कि आपके घर में लड़की सिर्फ 4 दिन रही है, और ऐसी स्थिति में आप केस फाइल करना चाहते हैं तो कौन सा तरीका ठीक है? 340 के अंदर एप्लीकेशन दें या 156(3) में? तो इस केस में आप एक फॉल्स बिल की पहले एक एप्लीकेशन पुलिस स्टेशन में दीजिए कि ये जो भी बिल लगाए गए हैं ये सब फॉल्स हैं, आफ्टर थॉट हैं, मिली भगत से बनाए गए हैं, ज्वेलर और पार्टीज की मिली भगत से बनाए गए हैं, जिनके नाम ये बिल हैं उनकी मिली भगत से बनाए गए हैं। अगर आईओ ने बिल वेरीफाई नहीं किए हैं और वैसे ही लगा दिए हैं तो आईओ के खिलाफ शायद ज़्यादा एक्शन नहीं बन पाएगा, पर डिपार्टमेंटल एक्शन जरूर बनता है। कोर्ट उसे डांट भी सकता है कि आपने कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट बिना वेरीफाई किए कैसे लगा दिया, पर क्रिमिनल केस उस पर रजिस्टर नहीं होगा। ऐसी स्थिति में फॉल्सिफिकेशन का केस बिल्कुल पार्टीज के ऊपर रजिस्टर किया जा सकता है, ज्वेलर के ऊपर भी रजिस्टर किया जा सकता है, और ऐसे कुछ केसेस पहले रजिस्टर हुए हैं। 2-3 केसेस सहोदर के मेंबर्स ने ही रजिस्टर कराए हैं। तो इसके कुछ सक्सेस स्टोरीज भी मेरी वेबसाइट पे अवेलेबल हैं, जिसमें कुछ की मदद मैंने की थी, तो आप उनको देख सकते हैं। इसके अलावा अगर आपको कोई पिटीशन की कॉपी वगैरह चाहिए तो आप मुझे मेल करके वो ले सकते हैं, पर मैं जो पिटीशन जैसी बनी हुई है उसमें से नाम इत्यादि हटाकर दे दूंगा, मैं उसमें कोई काम नहीं कर पाऊंगा। ये बात मैं बड़ी क्लियर कर देता हूँ, क्योंकि बहुत से लोगों को ये उम्मीद होती है कि मैं शायद, क्योंकि मैं सहोदर में फ्री एडवाइस करता हूँ, बहुत से काम फ्री भी करता हूँ। नहीं, ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है। आप भेज सकते हैं, जो भी फॉर्मेट्स हैं मैं उन फॉर्मेट्स की कॉपी जैसी अवेलेबल है वैसे ही प्रोवाइड करा सकता हूँ। करण संधू जी का सवाल है, what can be done if the applicant wife does not attend the DV proceeding? It's still in dismissal stage and it has been a year of adjournments. So currently I understand this year or past 1 year and few months, all adjournments are being allowed by courts liberally. However, if despite proper summoning and proper notice the wife is not appearing in DV case, you can ask for dismissal of the case. Corona has done a lot of damage to a lot of people, their livelihoods, their jobs, their business, their lives, their family members. And yes, it is a tragedy that in courts also Corona has affected a lot of people. A lot of false cases which could have been dismissed or acquittal would have been attained by the people. There are a lot of people whose cases were near judgment stage. They have also suffered. So we are all sufferers in this regard. Amit Patil has a question. In DV, while putting the application, wife mentioned she is not having any source of income. That was a false affidavit. When the case started, while submitting the affidavit of income and expenditure as per Rajneesh versus Neha, she mentioned her salary and other details and only submitted salary certificate. The second affidavit is also false. The salary slip submitted is false, and I can prove that. For the other details in affidavit, bank statement, etc., etc., she has not submitted any document. What can be done to counterattack? So basically, Amit, you can file for perjury, number one. Number two, all these documents which are missing, you can definitely call. Rajneesh versus Neha itself says that interrogatories can be filed to get all these documents. Section 91 application can be filed. So it is a very easy process. She has lied, you can file perjury. Jagdish Sahu has a question. If divorce is granted but other cases like DV and 498 are running and OP is contesting them, how to dismiss the case? So Rajneesh, any case can be fought only. Just merely because I have got divorced does not mean that criminal cases will also end. Though it is a very strong evidence in your favor, but evidence will be taken at the stage of evidence. How the family court has held the atrocities which she has meted out to you. But the cases needs to be contested. Sanjay Kumar has asked again the same questions. Sanjay, I have already answered these questions. So please don't ask questions and spam the timelines. Jeevan Kumar has a question. सर वाइफ ने अपने एफिडेविट में बैंक डिटेल्स की इंफॉर्मेशन में सिर्फ नो लिखा है, उसके 2 अकाउंट्स हैं जिसमें 6 डिजिट में बैलेंस है, क्या क्रॉस तक वेट किया जाए या ऑब्जेक्शन लेकर कोर्ट को एक्शन लेने को बोलें? जीवन जी, अगर ऐसी कोई स्थिति अभी है और लड़की ने अपने एफिडेविट में झूठ बोला है तो मैं तो कहूंगा कि आप इसी स्थिति में इंटरिम की स्टेज पर ही परजुरी की एप्लीकेशन जरूर फाइल करें और कोर्ट को इन अकाउंट्स की जानकारी दें। कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि कोर्ट इंटरिम मेंटेनेंस बांध दे ये समझते हुए कि लड़की की इनकम नहीं है, निल है। ऐसी स्थिति में नुकसान आपको ही होगा। डिले की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। इनकम एफिडेविट रजनीश वर्सेस नेहा का एक एफिडेविट है, इट इज टेकन एज एविडेंस और इस पे परजरी बिल्कुल एस्टेब्लिश्ड है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने रजनीश वर्सेस नेहा में ही कोर्ट को ये पावर दी है कि अगर कोई पार्टी एफिडेविट पे झूठ बोलती है तो उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करनी ही चाहिए। सौरभ अग्रवाल had a question but he had deleted it. Vikas Kejriwal has a question. Good evening, sir. Please tell me, while making application of 151 CPC for reducing maintenance, we should attach all relevant document with application or should it later date? So if you are making a case, I think you have to attach all the documents because it is a 151 application. Yes, you can, if the court accepts the application, based on your submissions itself, you can wait for Rajneesh versus Neha affidavit to submit all other proofs. But I believe if the wife is earning and that is your position of altering the maintenance under HMA 24, then you should submit some application, some proofs that how wife is earning in this case. Shari has a question, the person with the screen name Shari. Hello Shoniji, for 98 a DV divorce case running for since last 4 years. TP has been filed 2 years back and RTI was filed to seek clarity, but info was denied. What can one do to ensure TP is successful? What other resources are available? So, Sherry, if TP information has been denied, please note that CIC in its judgment after judgment has held that the broad outcome of TEP should be given to the parties. 10 years or 15 years back, you could get a lot of information about your TEP. But now, after there has been consistent judgments from Supreme Court, which has barred disclosure of a lot of information related to personal income tax of people, and that is why you can only get broad outcome. You should use those judgments from CIC to further your case in first appeal. That is the only thing which you can do. Rockstar has a question, sir. In mutual consent, what is the maximum time limit for divorce? Can we extend the time limit till 12 months due to money constraint? The total time limit as prescribed as per law is 18 months. The second motion can happen between 6 to 18 months at any stage. And yes, if there is a mutual agreement between both the parties, because of owing to the money constraints of one of the parties, it can be extended to 12 months. You can just jointly make an application in the trial court or family court, wherever the case is pending, that you will like another fresh date in the case, in this particular case. Normally the court accepts such requests. During COVID times, it is more so. Courts are being very liberal. People have suffered huge financial losses, so courts are liberal about it. Saurabh Agarwal has a question. My wife alleged in 125 application that I tortured her for dowry. For 15 years, she has not filed any FIR or DV case. She filed only 125 application. When I submitted my WS with evidence, she filed a remainder and accepted the fact that she left home on her own and I paid her pocket money throughout the marriage. And where is the rest of the question? So if she has accepted that you had paid pocket money throughout the marriage and you continue to pay that even after her filing of case, then I don't think that there is any case pending. However, she can still contest that she was harassed for dowry, and that is why she had to leave the home on her own, and she has a valid reason for staying away, and the pocket money may not be sufficient. So a lot of things has to be seen in this particular case, and there cannot be one liner or two liner advice about it. In DV case, respondent number 3 and 4, this is a question from Vijay Kumar, and I believe this is going to be the last question of the day. In DV case, respondent number 3, 4 not received summon. How to stop proceeding until respondent number 3 and 4 receive summons? So Vijay, for rest of the respondents, the case cannot be stopped till few of the respondents are not summoned. The courts are aware that there are respondents who willfully avoid service of the case, and that is why the court can proceed ex parte also against these respondents. The case cannot stop because few respondents have not been summoned. So I believe that we have come to near an end to today's discussion. Once again, to the people who are new to this channel, I request them that you tell your friends who are undergoing matrimonial cases that Saudar is having such virtual sessions, and these sessions will continue. This time, unlike last time when we stopped after lockdown was lifted, we have decided that these sessions will continue, maybe at a reduced frequency, but we'll definitely continue these sessions for people out of Delhi. You can also join our WhatsApp and Telegram channels by sending a subscribe message to 50498. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe and circulate amongst your friends. Thank you very much.